I am here with you in this. The repair estimate is real. The number may be more than you expected, and your mind may already be racing far beyond the car. You may be thinking about the next bill, the balance in your account, work, family, and what this expense could trigger. But listen carefully to me. A real financial problem is not the same thing as proof that your whole future is collapsing. The repair is a fact. The story that one setback means you are failing is fear trying to act like a forecast. Wisdom begins when you separate what is actually in front of you from what panic is predicting. You may feel pressure to solve everything at once. The car, the credit card, the rent or mortgage, the groceries, the next paycheck, the possibility of another surprise. That pressure can make one repair bill feel like a judgment on your entire life. It can whisper, "If I cannot fix all of this now, I am failing." But that is not a wise measure of faithfulness. It is an impossible standard. I taught in Matthew 6 verse 34, not to worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will have its own trouble. I was not teaching you to ignore bills, avoid responsibility, or pretend that numbers do not matter. I was teaching you not to drag imagined future disasters into the responsibility that is already in your hands. Today has enough weight, without adding a dozen outcomes that have not happened. So begin here. What do you actually know? You know there is a repair need. You know there is an amount, or at least an estimate. You know transportation matters. You may know how much cash you have, what bills are due, and which obligations cannot be moved. Those are facts. Now ask what you do not yet know. Is the repair urgent for safety, or can part of it wait? Is the estimate final? Is there another reputable shop you can call? Is there a payment option? A lower-cost repair path? Help from family? Or another temporary transportation choice? Those are unknowns, and unknowns are not the same as disasters. Then notice the assumptions. This means I will never catch up. This proves I am bad with money. Everything is about to fall apart. If I cannot solve all of it today, I am failing. Those are not facts. They may feel powerful, but feeling certain does not make them true. This is where wisdom over panic becomes practical. I am not asking you to feel no stress. I am asking you to stop letting fear combine facts, unknowns, and assumptions into one giant emergency. Take one piece of paper, or open one simple note on your phone. Write down the next bill or decision that actually needs attention. Not every possible problem. Not the whole month. Not the whole year. The next real decision. Maybe the next decision is whether the repair is safe to delay. Maybe it is calling the mechanic and asking what is essential now and what can wait. Maybe it is checking the exact amount available before you agree to the work. Maybe it is contacting a creditor or bill provider before a due date instead of waiting in shame. Maybe it is asking a qualified financial counselor to help you sort priorities if the pressure is bigger than this one repair. Then set aside what does not require action in this moment. That is not denial, it is discernment. Panic says, everything matters right now. Wisdom asks, what actually requires a decision next? Panic turns one expense into a verdict. Wisdom turns one expense into a problem that can be examined. Panic makes you solve imagined futures. Wisdom helps you deal honestly with the next responsibility. You may still dislike the number. You may still need to make a difficult choice, but you will be choosing from clearer ground. And now I want to go deeper, because calm alone does not pay a repair bill. You may be thinking, what if I slow down, look at the facts, and the numbers still do not work? Then do not pretend they work. Faith does not require you to rename a shortfall. Wisdom does not mean smiling at an amount you cannot afford. If the numbers still do not work, your next faithful step is not to panic harder. It is to face the actual gap and decide what can be changed, delayed, negotiated, reduced, replaced, or asked for. Maybe that means getting a second estimate. Maybe it means repairing only what is necessary for safe operation and postponing non-essential work. Maybe it means using another form of transportation for a short time. Maybe it means calling a bill provider, trusted family member, church benevolence ministry, or qualified financial professional and explaining the real situation plainly. You do not become a failure because you need help, more information, or more time. But I also will not tell you that every financial problem will disappear quickly. I will not promise that money will arrive in the way you hope. I will not call debt freedom into existence by a phrase. What I offer you is something sturdier: truth for the next decision, courage to face the real numbers, and freedom from treating fear as prophecy. There is another trap hidden inside financial panic. Sometimes, you are not only trying to fix the problem, you are trying to fix what the problem makes you think about yourself. A repair bill can become, I should have been more prepared. Then that becomes, I always mess things up. Then shame enters the room and starts making decisions. But one hard expense cannot define your character. Stewardship is not proven by never being surprised. Stewardship is shown in how you respond when life is more expensive, complicated, or fragile than you wanted it to be. You can ask hard questions without condemning yourself. You can admit where planning needs to improve without turning regret into identity. You can make a budget adjustment without calling yourself a failure. You can learn from this moment without letting this moment name you. Look again at Matthew 6. The point is not that tomorrow does not matter. The point is that tomorrow is not served by panicking about it today. Tomorrow is served by wise decisions made with the truth you have now. So let the repair bill become smaller in your mind than your entire future. Not smaller than it really is, just smaller than fear has made it. It is one situation. It has facts. It has limits. It has options you may not know yet. It may require sacrifice. It may require help. It may expose a place where your finances need more structure, but it does not have the authority to pronounce your future ruined. Here is your responsibility in this moment. Know the real amount. Know the next due decision. Know what can wait. Ask the next useful question. Take the next responsible action. And when your mind runs ahead again, bring it back without shame. Say, that is an assumption, not a fact. Then return to the page. What is the next bill or decision that actually needs attention? What can be set aside because it does not require action yet? That simple distinction can keep a financial setback from taking over your whole mind. You may not solve the entire month today. You may not know how every expense will be covered, but you can refuse to turn uncertainty into a verdict. You can face what is real, seek wise help, and move one decision at a time. Now let me lead you into prayer. My Father, you see the pressure this listener is carrying. You know the repair cost, the bills around it, the fear beneath it, and the questions they cannot answer yet. Bring clarity where panic has mixed facts, unknowns, and assumptions together. Give them the steadiness to look at the actual numbers without running from them, and without turning those numbers into a statement about their worth. Help them recognize what truly needs attention next. Show them what can wait, what needs a phone call, what needs a second opinion, and what may require wise outside help. Where shame says, I should have fixed all of this already, replace that accusation with honest stewardship. Give them humility to admit what needs to change, and courage to act without self-condemnation. Where fear predicts disaster, teach them to stay with what is true. Where confusion makes every bill feel equally urgent, give them discernment to order their responsibilities wisely. Where they need provision, open realistic paths without false promises. Where they need help, give them courage to ask. Where they need restraint, give them strength to pause before making a fear-driven decision. Help them remember that tomorrow is not protected by panic. It is better served by wisdom, truth, patience, and faithful action now. Give them peace that does not depend on pretending the repair is small. Give them peace that can sit beside an honest number and still choose the next right step. And when the mind races again, bring them back to the responsibility that is actually in front of them. Help them write it down, face it clearly, and set aside what does not require action in this moment. I place this financial pressure before you, Father. Guide this listener in truth, protect them from shame-driven choices, and give them courage for the decision that is theirs to make next. Amen. If this message helped you separate facts from fear, share the next decision you are facing in the comments, and subscribe for more Christ-centered encouragement and prayer.